Welcome to Invested Souls, the podcast where real estate expertise meets relationship growth.
And we're your hosts, the Flanagans. I'm Brad.
And I'm Jamie. This podcast is your chance to learn from our experiences and follow in our footsteps. Whether you're an entrepreneur, investor, or real estate professional, we've got the insights and strategies to help you elevate your wealth and achieve financial freedom.
But it's not just all about real estate. We believe that thriving in life means nurturing the relationships that matter most.
That's right. We'll be talking about how to balance your personal and professional life so you can create a fulfilling and prosperous future.
So join us on Invested Souls and let's grow together in wealth, relationships, and success.
Ready to elevate your life? Let's get started. Welcome to Invested Souls. Welcome back, everybody. We're here on Invested Souls. I'm Jamie Flanagan, the host, and I have Michael Bell here today from Pasadena, California. Second guest I've interviewed from California, and I always joke because we get asked a lot about investing in like California and Florida, and there are two markets that I don't know anything about. And the regulation in California has always been like so I avoid them. But I'm excited to have you on the podcast to talk about like how you are a freaking boss when it comes to listings. And there's a big reason why. So I'd love if you just shared, but we talked about before the podcast of like your book and a little bit about the stats and just go right into it.
Yeah, great. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, my name is Michael Bell. I'm a broker with Sotheby's in Pasadena, California. I've been selling 30 years, and I have a small team. It's just myself and basically a virtual assistant. This year, I should probably close about 60 transactions, primarily all listings. I would actually there might be 3 buyer sides in there, and that's just a function of who I network with. I would network with a lot of attorneys, and then on top of that, in California. Most people, if they're selling in California, it's hard to buy back in California. So a lot of my clients are moving. I have people somebody just moved to Vegas, somebody just moved to Maine, but people are getting out of California. That's another
Yeah,
conversation though.
I know we were just talking about that. You guys have really great appreciation. So the opportunity to capitalize on equity there and then buy in a different market
I know
there's
that
something to be
the
said
rest of
about
the
that.
country hates us because we drive the prices up so high because we're drunk with money here when we sell.
Yeah, it's impressive. Really is. And it's beautiful. Who doesn't want to ultimately like when you go visit California, it's amazing.
And the problem is too, is like these folks that are selling, they've got the money. I guess if I sold, I'd have the money too, but where am I gonna go? That's another story too. But that's everybody's locked in, and they're also locked in with 3% mortgages. So it's tough. And that's why I think most people when they sell in California or at least in LA County, they're moving out of state or going somewhere and almost anywhere else that's gonna be a really good deal for the most part.
Yeah. If you have anyone moving to Phoenix,
Yeah,
here.
you're my person.
So I love it. Okay, so you wrote a book
Yeah.
and it went like gangbusters and you didn't expect it to.
So I wrote a book. It came out 5 years ago, and I just basically I always told my kids as they were growing up, "If you need to finish what you start." They both got Eagle Scouts. One of them is a black belt, and I just really pushed them. They pushed me to finish this book, and I didn't really think much of it that it would I was very proud of it, but in the first 2 months, it hit the Wall Street Journal bestseller list. It sold 35,000 copies. I'm at
That is so
40,000
cool.
copies now. I give it away for free. You can go to my website, michaelbbell.com, and download the audiobook. If you want to listen to me for 3 hours, go for it. It's free. But you can buy it on Amazon. And it's just basically all the mistakes that I feel that sellers make that realtors don't really tell them about. And the reason why realtors don't tell them about these mistakes, it is because these mistakes actually help the real estate agent. It helps the real estate agent get business. And okay, yeah, it's controversial, and I have some bad reviews on Amazon and they're from realtors. And I have some agents in my office that don't like me at all. And they think that I'm just ruining the business. But tell me
You
if
know
you want
what?
me to,
Any top producer, right?
I'll
That's
just,
what like
I'll just jump into it.
yeah.
One of the stats so the book is based on stats and a little bit of stories, my opinion, and it's an easy read. And I actually give it to all my clients that are thinking about selling their home, and they always they always call me. They don't even call somebody else. And so if you have like realtors in your office or if you're a brand new agent, it just maybe this is a tool for you. But and I'll give you a really quick rundown. So what I do when I'm doing a little bit differently than most agents when I show up to somebody's home and I'm sitting on their kitchen table talking about why they should probably hire me. And of course, we all know it's all about what value they do you bring to the table.
Right.
And most agents, they sound the same. So if you sound differently and that difference is really something that they see a value, you know what? Not only are you going to get paid, but you're probably going to get a better commission for yourself because you understand your value and maybe other people are not saying it. And what other people are not saying, for example, is like dual agency. I tell people within the first 2 minutes of meeting them, that makes me different is that I won't represent a buyer on their transaction. I explain to them that it's legal in California. It's illegal actually in 5 states. Those 5 states I think have gotten it right. But I tell them I won't represent a buyer on their transaction. I'm going to get them market price. In my book, I talk about market price and how market price is the highest price. There's no such thing as over market price. That just doesn't
Mhm.
exist.
Right.
But it really encourages the marketplace to write offers because everybody knows that's listening to this. If you're a buyer's agent and you know the listing agent has a buyer, guess what? You probably won't write the offer, or
It is
maybe,
terrible.
or maybe you won't even jump into the bidding war. And the seller
Right.
doesn't even know it. Look, I talk about this all the time with my sellers, and they a lot of them don't realize how bad dual agency is. So there's a whole chapter about that. But there's other stuff that's gonna shock you maybe and maybe upset you if you're a real estate agent, but open houses are incredibly inefficient, and they're not good for sellers, and if you look at the statistics, it's about a 2 to 3% chance of selling your house because of an open house, and open houses are incredibly dangerous, and we all know that. It's
You
funny,
know what's interesting? I will say, in the last since the NAR rules changed, open houses have definitely changed for me.
yeah.
It's been so interesting. So it's just like I would be curious to look at the stats after this next year.
So this is the crazy thing about the stats. There's a chapter about open houses. The National Association of Realtors puts out a 136-piece questionnaire to 160,000 people that just bought or sold real estate. And they send this stuff out and they ask for them to answer all the questions. And if they do that, they'll get all these little freebies and stuff like that from different vendors and stuff like that. So they ask them all sorts of questions. How many houses did you see before you wrote an offer? How did you pick your realtor? It just goes on and on. How did you find
Mhm.
the house? But one question they do not ask, which is totally crazy, is they don't ask, did you find your house through an open house? And the reason why they
Mm.
probably don't, if you read the chapter, I think you may agree with me, the reason why they don't ask is because the number is so low. There is a question if you're no, if you're a stat person
That's
and you know all of this stuff, you're going to sit there and go, but the National Association of Realtors says you have an 8% chance of selling your house because of an open house. That's actually untrue. If you look at the question, only question they ask about open houses is, did you find the house because of an open house sign, a banner, or any other sign? And that's 8%. But it's not just for open houses, if you follow me. But as we all know, like years ago, we've all known that open houses are dangerous. Okay. And we had a realtor safety day in
Yeah.
September, I don't know, 20 years ago, and then the next year went to Realtor Safety Week. Now the entire month of September is Realtor Safety Month. And you want to hear some crazy stats about open houses?
I don't because I do them, and now I'm scared.
All right, I'm gonna scare you. 40 40 according to the surveys of realtors, 49% of all realtors arm themselves at open houses. In this order, they arm themselves with pepper spray, a gun, a knife, or a taser, in that order. 49%. And we all know that if you do open houses, you just never know who's gonna come in there. But you usually wanna know where your exits are, and
Mhm.
you usually wanna bring somebody with you. Or at least you wanna let your spouse know where you are, but look.
I have a thing about shoes. I don't know if you ever talk about shoes in the house.
Oh, about people taking shoes off?
Like, I don't take my shoes off if I feel like there's any because I you might need to run. I'm like,
We
I'm
just
like, if I have to leave quickly, I'm keeping my shoes on. So I'll stay if you're supposed to remove your shoes, I'll be like, I'm gonna stay in a certain area or whatever, but it's just
Yeah, you gotta be careful,
interesting.
but we
Yeah,
all well, look, we're all grown-ups here, we're all realtors and mostly listing, we all know the risks of this business, and it's not a safe
either.
business, you do have to be careful, but we all know that leads are great in open houses. Who goes to open houses? Sellers that are thinking about selling their house, people that are
Mhm.
kicking the tires if with real estate, and guess what? You get to use somebody else's front room to market yourself.
Yeah,
Being face to face is amazing in sales versus voice to voice on the phone or hiding behind a computer. But I get it. Agents get upset with me when I tell them how bad open houses are, and I tell the sellers how bad they are, and they usually say, "Good, I knew that," or "I didn't know that, and I definitely don't want to do open houses." But
yeah.
you look,
I
you,
think
you
it too depends on the market, right? Like where like Colorado, I felt a lot like I've sold in 3 different markets. Colorado, I felt a little bit more at risk, I would say. Like you can be in a remote property, like it's different. Nebraska is we're still a small town. So a lot of times it's like the neighbors and somebody and your lender. Like it's I think it totally obviously this it's like California. I very openly
look.
have said I'm like not familiar.
Even in our listing contracts that are put out by the California Association of Realtors says that we don't provide insurance coverage, and it specifically says for any loss or any kind of loss attributed to an open house. And when I show that to my clients, I'm like, "Hey, just so you know, we're not liable for it. This is what you're signing." And your audience understands this, and you understand this too,
Yeah,
but
100%. Yeah.
the 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 most important word in real estate is motivation. You wanna find out if your buyer how motivated is your buyer? Otherwise, if they're not motivated, you're gonna go
Yeah.
out and show 100 houses. And it's also the same thing with sellers. A motivated buyer will make an appointment to see that house. You're
Mhm.
not really stopping a showing from happening. Look, during COVID, open houses were against the law, and there were more sales than ever when there
That's
were no
true.
open houses.
Isn't that crazy?
And I was hoping and praying in a way that open houses weren't gonna come back because I just don't believe in them, and the stats prove that out, but here they are, everybody's doing open houses.
I work in new construction, and so I will say, like, with the new NAR rules, it's like people do it's different. I'm in a totally different market than sitting in somebody's occupied home, making them leave. And
Yeah.
depending on the neighborhood, like, we'll still do open houses if we know that they work in that area. But yeah, for the most part, it's I'm just trying to attract buyer leads and they're going to buy a different
Yeah,
house. So
yeah.
but it is like new construction. I'm like, I sell a house for every 20 hours. I know my stats though. Like I know it's worth my time. Obviously the builder requires open houses, but I know I will sell a house to a buyer without an agent every 20 hours I sit in that house.
Oh, wow.
And but I know that stat. And if I didn't have that stat, I wouldn't do it.
See, we don't so the interesting thing about your business and my business, in Pasadena, I'm in Pasadena, but the greater Pasadena area within a 5-mile radius, we have Sierra Madre, La Cañada, San Marino, South Pasadena, Altadena, La Crescenta, Temple City, Alhambra, all those areas, I would say it's 99% built out, and the built out was done decades ago. So we don't
Mhm.
really have any new construction here. The only new
Yeah.
construction we actually have are mixed use. And the cities here are real big proponents of mixed use because, of course, they can make a lot of money on taxes, but
Yeah.
what they want to do is put density together. They want to put stuff near rail systems. So you've got a lot of mixed use with retail on the bottom and condos above. And cities love that stuff. They don't really like single family homes. They make it really difficult to build a single
Yeah.
family home.
It totally makes sense. And yeah, we have lots of room to build. We have endless fields. So totally, yeah, totally different. It's interesting.
And it's even harder to build now after the fires, the Eden fire that we had in
Yeah.
Altadena, 70% of the city is gone. And with the fire regulations, with the insurance, with the infrastructure and costs and tariffs and stuff like that, there's a lot of people, unfortunately, it's another topic, but there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that are they're just selling and they're moving.
They won't be able to
Um,
rebuild.
they don't want to rebuild. It's too hard. Rebuild
That's
costs
too
are
bad.
like $600 to $800 a square foot here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's ins so our rebuild cost is like $180 a square foot.
yeah.
That's insane.
It's totally
It's sad
insane.
because a lot of those people, like, had their I have a very close friend of mine, her parents lost their home in that fire. Like, I get emotional, like, it's devastating. That was their family home, and man, it was like, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, yeah, it's really tough. Yeah.
And so
Um,
they won't re yeah, that's so then the opportunity there do you see I don't know, this is gonna probably sound wrong, but I noticed, like, after the flooding in Texas, like, people that I was watching on Facebook were like, "You wouldn't believe how quickly people came to my house to try and take up an opportunity." Like, it's gross, like, when people swoop in. Do you see that happening there where people are buying the land, maybe not knowing the rebuild costs or, like, coming at the families who own that property?
we had a lot of that, and the Governor Newsom signed an executive order basically making it illegal for realtors or investors to solicit with lowball offers, but they still did it. And I had a lot of clients call me saying, "We're going to sell," but I have one perfect example. They had somebody offer them $250,000. They had no idea what their lot was worth, and they called me. I wound up selling that for $890,000. But these investors, and some of them are realtors, we just have some bad apples. Every industry does. I think it's easier to point to our industry, but every industry has it.
Yeah,
And there are some sales that happen that were ridiculously low, and I think those people should be prosecuted.
yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So just which is really cool, like, you being the value, like, adding the value and having your clients reach back out, knowing that they can trust you is, like, essential, and so I'll finish this out with just what would you say if you like, a brand new agent called you and they were like, "Building my business, what's the number one thing" what's, like, the advice that you would give them to withstand be in this career long term, get the referrals, and be that trusted resource for their clients?
I have a number of ideas and things. I'm just going to blurt these out because I've always said it to newer agents. One thing I like to tell agents is secret agents make no money. If people don't know you're an agent, you're not gonna get the business. But you don't wanna be cheesy the way you tell them, but just let them know, "Hey, if you ever need any help with real estate, let me know." Or "Who do you know that could use my help?" Or ask permission, "Hey, would if you help somebody out with some kind of real estate, maybe you help them with a lease or you give them some tips or something like that. Say, "Hey, would you be offended if I asked you once in a while if you know anybody that could use my help?" Most people will say, "No problem." Now you got an
Mhm.
excuse to call somebody every 6 months, touch base, see how they're doing, and say, "Hey, do you know anybody that could use my help?" There's that. The other thing in terms of for newer agents is if you wanna make money in this business, and I think most people wanna make money, but
Yeah.
there's so many realtors that will give you advice. Look, I think you should listen to realtors that make a lot of money and get the advice from them. There's a lot of failed realtors out there. One
Yes,
of the
there are.
one of the crazy stats is this is from the National Association of Realtors. The NAR says 87% of all brand new agents will be out of the business in 5 years. And this has been a stat that's been going on for years. 87%. And I think it's unfortunate that there's so many people that fail, but there's a whole reason why the industry tries to push a real estate license onto folks for a career. But listen to people that make a lot of money if you wanna make a lot
Mhm.
of money. Don't listen to
Yeah.
failed realtors, because there's failed realtors that'll be like, "Hey, I used to sell real estate, and this is how you have to do it." And so you can listen to them, but listen to the top people.
Then why aren't you still in the business?
There's that. And the other thing I like to say is it's this business really is so simple that it's hard, and agents make it hard. And you almost a lot of agents that think that you need to do 20 things. Look, if you do 20 things half-assed, you're gonna get half-assed results. It's just the way it
Yep.
is. But try to do 3 really good things that is affordable, that you like, that you can do consistently, and maybe that's taking people to lunch or doing a networking
Mhm.
thing, but there's a lot of things you can do. And also the other thing is I recommend is that so the National Association of Realtors puts out that Realtor magazine, and they do a profile called 30 under 30. And I think most people throw that magazine away, but if you see the under 30 on their cover, read it. There's 30 agents in there under 30 years old, and most of them are making
A
really
lot of
good
money.
money, really good
Yeah.
money, and they tell you what they're doing, and some of them are Facebook ads, some of them are there's one person I read, they bought a bunch of bounce houses, and they
Yeah.
rent these out for free, and then they go to the party, and they make everybody sign with their phone number for the liability release,
Genius.
and then they also put their sign up there, and now they have all these people that they ask permission if they can call them. That's a great lead generation source. I've never done it. I thought, "That's
That's
good.
so funny. So we rent bounce houses for every event for my new construction,
There you go."
but I've never thought if we had a branded in the liability waiver for us, that it would be like absolutely genius because we don't force people to sign in when they come to our community events. We hope that they will, and we do giveaways and stuff. So we hope that they'll sign up to get the raffle. But I love that.
You can have them sign up and ask for an email address so you can send them, like, your monthly mailer, and why not? Just stay in
Yeah,
contact with people.
that idea.
But yeah, I think the unfortunate thing about the lawsuit that happened with the commissions and stuff like that, what we're seeing, at least in California, they expected 10% reduction in renewals, and we're at 15, and I think that's gonna be accelerating as people real this is a hard business, and the younger people don't wanna get into this business, and the older people are retiring, and what I'm seeing, at least in California, is that there's a consolidation into teams because there's so much
Yeah,
paperwork, but that's just the way it is. But if you're a brand new agent, I think it's a good idea to join a team and just
I do too.
understand because they realize they bring you in, they know you're going to cycle out after a few years or something, but
Yep.
that's a great way to learn.
Yeah, I love the team. I have really tried to figure out a way to collaborate with other team leaders to split the because if we could figure out a way to split we're all paying for the same things.
Yeah.
Gosh, if we could just figure out a way to make this profitable, like ego gets in the way, right? I want my team name and I want my team name and I want my team name, but it's then I get branding is a huge thing, but if there's only a way that we could use the systems together, split them and all benefit. But it's a whole nother conversation for another day.
I wanna throw out one more thing, and for a newer agent and really for anybody, and I just love stats, and I think everybody should download for 20 bucks the NAR stats, the home buyer and home seller stats, and read it. But
Yeah, those are great.
75% of the decision that somebody makes to hire you has to do with if they like you and they trust you, okay? It has nothing to do with your brokerage, it has nothing to do with
Nope.
really a lot with your experience either, but it's if they like you and they trust you, and you're an experienced agent, and you see this all the time too. You'll see there's rookie agents that get listings all the time, and I hear
Yep.
rookie agents saying, "Oh, I can't get a listing." If you say you can't, then yeah, you're right, but
Right.
it's doable. You just need to be of service. Don't be a secret. Help people out. Have a servant's attitude. Know your stats. The stats aren't that hard to get. There's
Yeah.
a whole system
No.
for it. You can sound like an expert in 5 minutes. It's not that hard.
It's t and true, and our MLSs send out now, like, I know when I got in the business, there was no like, you had to go dig, and you had to run the stats yourself, but now
Yeah,
it's like you can literally check your email, and you'll get,
yeah,
like,
it's all
your
there.
stats. You can set your MLS to create spreadsheets to send to you. It's super cool. Thank you, Michael. I so much appreciate you coming on the show
No
today. This
problem.
was a really good talk and love having a fellow, like, I'm big in listing. Very much appreciate you, and I hope our audience gets a lot of value out of this.
If you'd like to reach out to me, I'd love to chat with people. I'd
Yes.
love to help people, but my website is michaelbbell.com and all my contact information is there. If you want a free book, reach out to me. I have a whole bunch of cheap author copies and I mail these out all the time to people that want it. I just want to spread the word and maybe one day I'll change the world a little bit. I don't know, but
I love it. It's
I love to
great.
help
So
people out.
michaelbbell.com.
michaelbbell.com. The
And then
book
are you on Facebook, Instagram?
I'm not on Instagram. My kids say I'm old, I need to do that, but I'm not, but
Another
I'm on
thing to manage.
Facebook.
You spoke to it. 3 things that you can do consistently.
I know, but yeah, and if you're a realtor and you're thinking about if you have a client in this area, I love paying referral fees, but I would love to help your clients, I'd be honored. So
Absolutely. Yes. I hope you get you'll get a lot of value out of this and definitely connect with Michael if you have a client moving to Pasadena or the surrounding areas.
or the
I'm sure
stuff.
you have connections all over California.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamie.
Awesome.
Great.
Yes. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks for tuning in to Invested Souls.
We hope you found our insights valuable and feel inspired to elevate your real estate and relationship goals.
If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. Your feedback means a lot to us.
Follow us on social media for more tips and updates, or visit bradandjamieflanagan.com. And to find out more about our Real Estate Wealth Accelerator, don't hesitate to reach out.
Until next time, keep investing in your future and nurturing your relationships. Thanks for listening to Invested Souls.